Today on the podcast, we're talking improv, the mystery bucket, and Ham Kitty. This is the Kansas City Podcast. Welcome to the Kansas City Podcast. I'm your host, Cole Lindbergh. Many of you know me from my recent All-Star Snatch Game performance. And if not, it's nice to meet you. Did you watch Snatch Game last week? Do you watch RuPaul's Drag Race?
Yeah.
They did Snatch Game this week. It was really good.
What were you on it?
No. No, I wish I was. This is just, don't worry about it. Okay. Each week, we are joined by a one-of-a-kind KC native for a conversation on life in the city of fountains. And I have found my way downtown. I'm meeting up today with, you have a very long list of, let's see here. You wear many hats. Like many people on the show, you wear many hats. You do many things. So she is 1/5. 20%, I believe.
That's math.
That is math. Of Ham Kitty, the KC Improv group. They were the best pitch best of improv sketch group for 2017. Mm-hmm. And what was second place in 2016, right? Or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was our first year.
And that was your first year. So it's a hot, exciting group.
We're kind of hot right now because we keep winning throwdown competitions, which is a monthly deal.
Okay, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, okay.
You can also hear her every Friday on 98.1 KMBZ on the Jonathan Wier Show for the list. Mm-hmm. She is a company member at KC Improv, where they have shows every Friday, Saturday night in Westport. And last but not least, she is a shitty accordion player. Please welcome to the Kansas City Podcast, Kate Haugan.
Hey, hi.
Kate, welcome to the show. Was that a good enough introduction? I went all out on introduction.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning my shitty accordion playing.
You're very welcome. Do you play when I think of accordion, the first thing that my mind goes to is, of course, like Weird Al and all of the polkas. Can you play a polka?
I can slowly play a polka.
Oh, yeah, because they're very fast-paced.
They're very fast. Yeah, I actually did an audition once, and they said, if you play a musical instrument, play it. Sorry, my dog's drinking water in the background.
Fine. Auto
it's
is
so
fine.
Loud. So they were like, if you can, play a musical instrument, bring it in and play it. So I went in and played like a Johnny Cash song, but like polka style. Yeah. And they were just amazed. But I think more like, it was just like their hair was like blown back. Like, what is happening?
And did you get the part?
I did.
Yeah, okay. Well, then it all worked out.
Yeah, I played accordion. It was in Titus Andronicus, like the Shakespeare play, and I played accordion in it, and it had like a part. So,
well, hey, that all works out. Then.
It worked out.
So even if you thought you were a shitty accordion player, they were like, "Hey, this is pretty damn awesome.
This is our style of shitty accordioning."
She's going to be in the background providing music. Wonderful.
Wah, 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 wah.
To be. I don't know any of the words Titus Andronicus. So let's start with Ham Kitty. Because Ham Kitty, like we mentioned at the start here, only about 2 years old, right, as an improv group, somewhere in there, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And you were the pitch best of improv group for 2017. Mm-hmm. You have different shows coming up. I saw recently you're going to be at the Gladstone Comedy Festival, which is more in my neck of the woods, Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about Ham Kitty, and maybe we can talk a little bit about improv in the city, too. Because, I feel like I've had stand-up comedians on the show, and everyone always says, hey, Kansas City comedy is like growing. There's more places to play. There's more places to do stuff. So let's start with Ham Kitty. How did Ham Kitty get started?
So Ham Kitty got started, it's 5 of us women, and we all are just kind of veterans of the KC Improv scene.
Nice.
And Tina, another 5th, another 20%, had it on her bucket list to play with Trish, who is another kind of luminary of the scene.
That Trish would be another 20%.
She's another 20%.
We're up to 60%.
There we go.
40% left.
Yeah. So she asked Trish, they'd never played together, even though they had both been playing in Kansas City forever. They were just in separate groups or whatever. And I had played with Tina in a group called Full Frontal Comedy. Uh-huh.
Great name.
It's another improv sketch group. And then Jen and Ashley, I don't know, it all just kind of came together. We all wanted to play together. We just put the group together for one underground throwdown competition, which is the monthly competition show at the Kick Comedy Theater. And we just kept winning.
Yeah.
So
you had like 13 consecutive wins or something crazy.
Yeah, so we had 8 the first time.
Yeah.
And then we took a little break because we lost. But now we're back and we have 13, I believe.
Damn.
So we've been going for over a year.
That's awesome.
And everybody's trying to bring us down.
Those jerks.
Yeah.
So, with improv, of course, I love improv. I've gotten to go to Second City in Chicago and see an improv show, which blew my mind. Just craziness.
Yeah.
I always watched Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Me too.
What is Ham Kitty? Like, does Ham Kitty have like a certain style? Like, because you always think of like, oh, the items in the hat, or like, oh, there's a scene, or you're doing a hoedown or a song or something. So what is like Ham Kitty's like main like go to, like, hey, this is my ARP improv game. This is where we shine.
Yeah. So I think one of the reasons we've been so successful in Throwdown is because we developed our format based on what we thought would work for a competition. And that is called the Mystery Bucket.
Oh.
And it happened because we had our first like business meeting to discuss what we wanted to do
Getting down to business.
at the Foundry. And they were offering that night a special called Mystery Bucket, where it's like, you buy this bucket and you get however many beers, but you don't know what they're going to be. We were like, oh, Mystery Bucket. That's a great idea. We can just have people like put stuff from their pockets and purses and whatever in the bucket. And then we draw it out and do scenes based on the items in the bucket.
Oh, okay.
But it's been awesome because we have people who come to every show and they bring things to put in the bucket. So it's not, at first it was a lot of like receipts and tampons and condoms. And we'd be like, oh, another scene about a tampon. We've done so many tampon scenes. I'm not even kidding. But my mom will go to like Cirilla's beforehand and like get a little like teeny mini vibrator and be like, how'd you like that vibrator after the show? I'm like, thanks, Mom.
That really helped out the scene.
Yeah, thank you.
So people basically go to the show, they throw stuff in a bucket, you guys pull it out and make a scene around it.
Yeah, and I think the reason it's successful is it's super fast paced because we really like getting through the bucket because people like seeing their stuff used. And so it's sort of endearing in that way too.
Well, yeah, it's like a big surprise because you're like, oh, I brought along my, whatever, and I put it in there. Oh, I can't wait to see what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have one guy who like makes crafts to put in the, he'll take like a wooden slice of watermelon and glue like Google eyes all over it.
What's the weirdest thing that's been in the bucket so far? Is there one that like sticks out in your mind? Like, oh, this was odd, or we made a really weird scene out of this one? I mean, mini vibrator already is.
Yeah, mini vibrator was one.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, Mommy. We had some like nipple warming oil or something like that. And I swear I thought my mom brought that too. And she's like, no, it wasn't me, but I'll take it.
I just think it's funny that you've got people now that are probably like, they're, going out on the town or whatever, or they're going shopping, and all of a sudden they come across something like, oh, that'd be great to throw in the mystery bucket.
No, it's true. This lady, Kim, who was a fan of Full Frontal Comedy before, she comes to all of our shows. And like a couple months ago, she brought this little wind-up bunny, and it made for the best scene. Like I think they've kind of like are in tune with what is going to be successful. And oftentimes the like dirty stuff or the stuff that's kind of already a joke isn't the best setup for success.
Oh, it doesn't work as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but like things like a little wind-up bunny or something like that are just perfect.
Well, yeah, I could see that because you really got to kind of like really craft a really weird story around why the wind-up bunny exists versus like, oh, it's a vibrator and it's because I'm not happy, or I'm like trying to think in my mind, like you can make a million different. Yeah, you're right. It writes itself because it's basically you're pulling a vibrator out of a bucket.
Well, and it's this word to the wise. It's like when you go to an improv show and you think it's hilarious to yell out like doggy style or like gynecologist or whatever. It's like the joke's done. Like the joke was done when you yelled that out and everyone laughed, and now we have to deal with like this crazy suggestion. It just doesn't make for the best improv.
When I went to Second City and we watched an improv show, and there was a point in the show where it was like a baseball team, it was a baseball team, and the coach was this female, and she was like trying to wrestle, trying to get the baseball team more excited, right? And like, hey, we got to go out there and we got to win and stuff. And she's like, does anybody have any questions? And they basically turned it on the audience to where like you could ask the coach a question, okay?
Oh, okay.
And so somebody yelled out, why can't we have water while we're on the field? And she's like, well, you can't have, like, it was really good. And then some jerk yelled out, explain the infield fly rule. And they all kind of looked at each other, and she full on went for like 3 minutes and explained the infield fly rule. And she's like, take that, asshole, at the end.
Yes!
And I was like, yes. So like the joke, like the guy thought he was being super cool because, he threw out some, she's not going to be able to explain the infield fly rule. But then she totally roasted his ass.
That's awesome.
And I was like, this is so much fun.
Oh my God. That's amazing. We've had some, with Casey Improv Company, we'll do out of town gigs sometimes. And we had one, I don't know, like maybe 8 months ago. Well, whenever, it was right after the Las Vegas shooting happened.
Okay.
So whenever that was.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, where's somewhere you might go on vacation? And this guy in the back who was working there, he was like, the bouncer was like, Las Vegas, and it didn't click in, and the host said, okay, like specifically, maybe where would you go in Las Vegas? And he's like, a concert. And everybody was just like, what the fuck? Like, why would you? And he was like, and like, it just was not fun or funny. And then we had to deal with like, yeah, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
It just sucked everything out of the room. That's the opposite of the fly rule. Sorry. I just brought it way down, but just stuff like that is so sad.
Like, why are people such turds? Like, why, like you're going there to enjoy it. You're not like, let the performers perform and do their work. You're not trying to steal the show. You're there to watch and view. And it's a privilege that you get to participate in some way or shape or form.
I think people get confused because we do ask for participation sometimes, like with suggestions, but then we really don't want it while we're like actually doing the scenes, or we don't like want hecklers. But I think some people don't understand that distinction.
Yeah. How long have you been doing improv in KC? Oh man, you just made a look of like, I have to go back in my mind and count the years.
Well, in this current run, I would say about 10 years.
Okay.
I did like high school improv in the 90s.
Ooh. Fun.
But yeah, so I joined Full Frontal when I moved back here in 2007, I think.
Yeah.
So about 10 or 11 years.
Okay, so in the run for the last 10 years or so, how has the Kansas City improv scene changed? Like, when you first started, is it the same? Is it growing? Like, do more people showing up to shows? Are there more places?
So it's interesting because there are still, Full Frontal, it was weird because it felt like Full Frontal was a little bit removed. So I didn't really understand or feel like a total part of the scene when I was doing Full Frontal because it was just kind of a different beast.
Yeah.
But now that I'm kind of like more in the weeds of it all, I guess, there are still two major companies. So that's Casey Improv Company, which used to be called Improv Abilities, and then Comedy City, which also has been called Comedy Sports.
Okay, yeah.
Which is like the national outpost of it. So we still have those companies, but out of those, we just have so many independent teams, which is really amazing. And I think overall, it's just there's a lot more interest. The training centers are really full. So we have like...
I didn't even know like training centers existed in the city.
Yeah, so the Casey Improv Company has one, and I think there are probably like 100 students in it, maybe. Wow. I teach 301.
Oh, what is 301?
That's a good question.
Intro to Mystery Bucket?
Scene work.
Oh, okay.
Intro to Mystery Bucket. I just played Mystery Bucket for 8 weeks. Yeah, it's scene work.
Scene work,
I think.
Okay.
I have my curriculum right there.
Do you have a syllabus and everything?
Yeah, we do, actually. We have like a whole thing.
How do you pass the class? Do you take a written test or is it a performance test?
We have performances at the end.
Wow.
It's pretty fun. Like, so it's 8 weeks, and that's every other week, all of the classes go to Lucky's, like the brew grill in Mission or whatever. And we get the basement. And the classes perform for each other. And then at the end, they get a public performance.
Nice.
So everybody gets to perform, like if their friends and family want to come or whatever.
Is it a diverse group? Is it like a lot of young people, or is it all over the place?
Super diverse. Yeah. No, I think age-wise, it's crazy diverse because there's anyone from like, I don't know what the minimum age might be, but I would say 18 to up to people in their 60s and possibly 70s. I don't know. I haven't asked them their age, but it's very diverse age-wise, and then diverse in every other way too. I mean, I really think it's such a nice like slice of life.
Oh, nice. A nice slice of life.
A nice slice of life.
That should be the name of your course.
Yes.
Intro to scene work. A nice slice of life.
But yeah, I really enjoy it, and I enjoy my students, and I'm just constantly amazed by how good they are.
I mean, improv is hard. I think improv is really hard. You got to be like quick on your feet. You have to be willing to like move the scene along, which I always found with the times that I did do improv, I always found that I was always kind of like, I would say something that would kind of bring everything to the halt. Because I was trying to land a joke, but not realizing that like, oh, if you're landing this joke, you totally screwed up everything for everybody. Yeah. You got to keep it moving. You got to keep it. And I was having a really hard time doing that.
That's exactly 301, which is the one I teach, is kind of known as like the hardest level.
So you're the best teacher.
I'm the best teacher. No, but only because like in 101 and 201, you've been playing a lot of like these games where it is just kind of like jokes and jokes and jokes. And now you're at the point where you're actually like delving into like how to move those scenes along. And like, spoiler, it's not by making jokes that shut everything down.
Yeah.
And so it's really frustrating, I think, sometimes for people who are like figuring that out and figuring out how to like pursue different options besides the first thing that pops into their head.
Yeah.
And
like elongating it, like making it, like spreading it out more. Like, it's like, oh, I don't need to go up there and like hit bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
I gotta like, I gotta set people up. I gotta help build to it. And then you could have bigger payoffs if you build it up through the whole scene.
And you're learning technical things like how to edit scenes and things like that aren't just like getting up and being like, do, like it's fun. I mean, it is fun, but you have to learn the mechanics of it.
Yeah. What made you want to get into improv? Were you like the silly kid that was always doing, you said you did improv in high school, right?
Yeah. So I've just always done theater and I auditioned for my comedy troupe in high school. Nice. I had the Blue Valley North Mustangs comedy troupe. And so I was 14 and I just,
They wouldn't let it be called like Full Frontal Blue Valley North, Full Frontal.
Oh yeah. Full frontal high school comedy. Ew, that's illegal.
No, you can't do that.
No.
That'd be funny as hell, though. What are you guys going to name your improv group? Well, Full Frontal Blue Valley North.
Shit stains. We're the Blue Valley North shit stains.
We're the Mustang Tail.
Yep.
See, there we go.
Tail.
See right there.
What?
I was going to say Mustang Tail Fart, and then I stopped.
I was like, why is that dirty?
I wasn't. Okay, go ahead. So you were in high school and you were like, hey, I really like this. And then it just kind of went from there?
Well, so I made the mistake of going to college for a theater degree. And by the time I finished, I was just burnt out. I was like, I never, ever want to do any of this ever again. This is a whore's life.
Yes.
And so I took a pretty long break after college. So I was like 22 and then I moved to New York and didn't do any theater, anything at all for like 6 years. Nothing. Whoa. Didn't go to an audition. Just like collected life experiences. And then I moved back to Kansas City in 2007. So 5 years doesn't seem like that long of a break in retrospect. But at the time, like when I'd been doing it continuously for years and years, since like third grade to end of college, it felt like
did it get like
crazy?
Did you get like the feeling of like, oh, again? Like, do you ever get bored? Like, or like, I always find that like when I do things over and over and over again for a really long period of time, I'm just like, oh, I'm starting to get sick of this. I'm starting to get sick of this. Like, was that why you didn't want to go on an audition? Were you just kind of like, oh, I'm sick of it? Or was it more from, I want to take a break?
So it was definitely like, I want to take a break. But I think part of it for me was that in theater school, they tell you, like, if you want to live the life of an actor, you have to spend every day like hustling for yourself. And you have to spend 4 hours a day mailing out postcards with your picture on it.
What?
And doing like resumes and going to shows and networking and meeting agents and auditioning. And I was like, I hate all of that. I don't really have any interest in like selling myself.
Yeah, that self-promotion is tough.
I don't want to do it. And, like even now, if somebody's like, hey, we have this project, do you want to do it? Be like, yeah, but I don't really go out and pursue things because I can't handle it. I don't have the emotional fortitude for it.
Don't start a podcast then.
Oh, yeah?
No, don't.
Why?
Because it's a lot of that. It is so much promotion to try to get people to listen to it, especially here in Kansas City. Like, I love Kansas City. It's my hometown. But Kansas City's not much of a podcast city. It really isn't. It's like behind the times. So it's a total grind. So
interesting.
I would, if Ham Kitty ever wanted to do like a podcast show, or something, like you do like a 6-episode series or something like that of improv, just be ready because I'm sure there'll be some people that listen to it. Yeah. It will not be what you expect.
Interesting.
It's, podcasting is like the ultimate grind.
Huh.
It's, yeah.
If you want to like make money at it, you mean?
Well, like if you want to make money at it.
Or just like have people listen.
More like... Okay, so like, all right, let's reveal behind the curtain here. Okay?
How the sausage is made.
So, like, for instance, I will post this episode of your show, right? And it will go out to the world, okay? And it'll go on all these different platforms for people to listen to. And I'm sure that I'll share it on Facebook and you'll share it on Facebook. And, like, it might get some crossover people to listen, right? Yeah. Well, I can promise you a certain amount of downloads, right? Because I know that we have that many subscribers to the show. Yeah. But I cannot promise you that they're going to listen to the whole thing.
Right.
I cannot promise you that the people that, like... listen, like click on your link and then we'll like subscribe to my show, right?
Oh yeah.
So when you're looking at like numbers and metrics and all this stuff, you see, oh, we got this many downloads, but I have no idea if someone listened for 5 seconds or if they listened for 30 minutes. And then when you eventually hit like this weird like plateau of you're getting the same number of downloads across like episodes in a row. So there's no dip, which is nice, but then there's no...
It's like, how do we grow it?
There's no upswing, and how do you grow it? And so then the only way to promote it is online through like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And that is one of the hardest parts, especially for someone like me that like, I'm not a huge like Instagrammer, like, and I'm not like a huge Facebook guy, like, but you have to promote it and you have to post it. And I feel a lot of times like I feel like the type of newspaper or like I feel like a pop-up ad. There we go. I feel like a pop-up ad where like, oh, here's another one, and you like click out of it.
I totally get. I used to have a blog, and this was a long time ago, but I felt like that, like new blog post up, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Same deal.
But like I'm in my own head because you got to like, that's what you got to do.
Absolutely, yeah.
So is it the same in improv? It's the same like now with Ham Kitty? Like, are people showing up to your shows? Are you constantly spamming?
I don't feel like we spam too hard. Like, we have a Ham Kitty page, and we have a good mix of like posting about our shows, but also like we'll post like cute cat videos that we see. It's funny because I follow all these like cat Facebook feeds now, like Happy Cats and Nyan Cat or whatever it's called, like meow, 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 meow. What's that called?
Why Ham Kitty? I want to know why Ham Kitty.
Oh, good question.
Thank you. I'm better at this now. I'm getting better.
So, when we formed, the 5 of us, Tina kept saying, we need to give Keith is the organizer of the throwdown, we need to give Keith a name for our group. And all 4 of the rest of us just kept sending those stickers on Facebook of the cat that looks like a ham.
Yeah,
it's called Ham Cat.
Yeah.
And we just kept sending those. And I said, well, it seems to me that we are called Ham Kitty. And Tina was like, that is the worst name I've ever heard. We are not Ham Kitty. Somebody say something else. And then it was just like radio silence. So then it was probably a full week later. Tina was like, okay, guys, we need to discuss this name thing. What are we going to do? And we all just started sending like the pictures of Ham Cat again.
Okay.
And she conceded that in fact, our name is Ham Kitty.
The rest is history.
The rest is Ham Kitty history.
Very nice.
Herstory.
There we go. We are going to take a quick break. We will be right back here on the Kansas City Podcast. Well, howdy-ho, neighbor. It's Cole here from the Kansas City Podcast. I want to thank everybody who has continued to join us here on our wonderful podcasting adventure. Happy spring / it's almost summertime. It's getting nice. It's getting warmer out. I hope that maybe you get a chance to go out to Go Ape, for instance, like last week's episode. Maybe you go find a ghost, like what Jason Kubsek and I did, or maybe... even better, maybe you'll go see an improv show like Ham Kitty. So I hope you're enjoying today's show. Give us a follow, give us a like, go write a review if you think the show's great. Maybe don't write a review if you don't like the show. Whatever. You do how you feel, right? You do your own thing. So back to, it's been a while since we've had the Casey quiz. So enjoy the second half of this show. Some brand new questions on the Casey quiz. Back to the show. Welcome back to the Kansas City Podcast. I'm your host, Cole Lindbergh, here with Kate Haugan from Ham Kitty.
Ham Kitty!
Do you have like a Ham Kitty theme song?
No, we should though.
Ham Kitty.
Ham Kitty.
We should work. I can help with this. I can help create your...
Oh, I would love that.
I'll see what I can do.
Oh my gosh, like entrance music?
Yes,
when we like come on stage and it's like... Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, like, do you want like meowing in the background?
Yeah.
Meow, ham, meow, ham. Tell me about, I know every Friday you're on the Jonathan Wier Show.
Yeah.
And full disclosure, you and I, we were on the Taco the Town.
Taco the Town.
Yes, we were on the Cinco de Taco celebration together. Yeah. And Dave from Taco Town asked you about Jonathan Wier Show. Uh-huh. But I am not as familiar with the Jonathan Wier Show. I know it's on the radio.
It is on the radio.
And I know there is a list that you do. Or can you explain to me what the story is?
So the Jonathan Wier Show is the show. It's on KMBZ 98.1 from 6 to 9 every weeknight. I'm on Fridays. And every Friday we do the list, which is a bracket style competition where it might be like best TV theme song from a certain era, or like this week we did best TV. It's not always TV, but it just happened to be best TV automobiles.
The Batmobile.
The Batmobile. We had the A-Team van.
Oh, okay.
The winner was, can you guess?
Knight Rider?
Yes!
Kit. It was
Good
Kit,
job.
right?
It was Kit. Yep.
Because that whole show was about a car, basically.
Sure.
Like, I think between then, and I hate saying this one, but I'm sure it was the General Lee on there too.
So it got nominated. I
vetoed it.
I don't. Yeah, because I don't like cars with hate symbols on them.
Yes, I agree.
So.
Okay, that's what I was saying. Like, we're in Missouri. I imagine a couple people nominated General Lee.
Well, the crazy thing about the list is, so we go around the room and we nominate different things and we play clips and whatever from the shows. But the text line, it is so insane to me. They always say like text the text line or whatever. Yeah. And we get like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of texts. And every single person who's writing in thinks they're the only person writing in.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, please add blah, blah, blah to the list. And it's like, I already know what for I'm going to do. And they're telling, and sometimes we do see one on the text line and we're like, oh man, we didn't think of that. And we really need to add that or whatever. But then people get pissed because we haven't. And they keep writing back in like, why haven't you added it? I told you to add it. Like, blah, blah, blah. But there are only 16 spots. Yeah. Sometimes we'll go up to 32 because it's bracket style. We have to like keep it whatever, like square root friendly or whatever. But
you can't have extra brackets, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So, but it's just hilarious to me, and they get so mad, and they're like, "You guys suck! You suck at voting! You suck at like, I'm gonna kill you in the parking lot!" Like, people get so crazy,
and people can't Well, you could still like call in the radio show, but I never hear anyone call into a radio. It's always this text stuff, and so like people, they're like, "Oh, I don't have to use my voice. I can just text in and say whatever the hell I want," basically.
Yeah.
It's not like you're.
I've taken screenshots of the text line where I'm just like, "Oh man, this is so insane!" Like the amount of vitriol around like this list, and it's stupid stuff like best senior citizen in a movie or like just stuff like that. And they're like, "You assholes! Like,
why are you doing this?"
It's so crazy. But I love reading the text line. Like I don't know. I think I get into like reading the text line more than anyone, probably because it's more of a novelty for me. Because I'm not like on the radio every day. But I just am obsessed with it.
Well, you can like text them back too. Like you could respond. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. If somebody writes something gross in, I'll call them out on it. And I've had like weird stalkers on the text line, and we've called them out on air. Like, hey, Kate is not gonna like go on a date with you because you're being creepy on the text line. Like, just. The world figure it out.
The world of radio. Is it weird, like going and doing are you on there for the full 3 hours on Fridays?
It kind of depends on if I have a gig at the Kick or something like that. So, sometimes I'll go on and the list takes up the first hour and then I'll stay on for another hour and a half or whatever.
Is it weird doing radio? Like, it's different than us sitting down just having a conversation, but like, is it like really like crazy timed out and just like you gotta hit your marks? You gotta like, is it weird?
Yeah, it doesn't seem weird because Jonathan, the host, is just like really good at what he does. And so he's just on top of that. I don't have to worry about any of that, but he knows exactly the minute that we have to like get off, and he'll just be like, we'll like be talking, and then he'll just be like, it's the Jonathan Wier Show. And that's it. I mean, he guides the whole thing, so he knows what he's doing, and I just kind of sit there and to me, it's very similar to this because I just kind of sit there and talk, and then we go to break, and I go pee, and then come back, and yeah. So,
and with that being said, hey, would you like to take the KC quiz?
Yeah.
All right, Kate, it's time for the KC quiz. You know how this works. I'm going to ask you some Kansas City-related questions. You will be rewarded points.
Oh, my gosh.
If I ask a question, you don't like the question, you can always say, stupid question. And remember, folks, you can tweet us at Kansas City Pod if you would like your question added to the KC quiz.
Oh, cool.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, we always start with this question. It is probably my favorite question because it lets me know who you are. Okay? It's your favorite restaurant that is not barbecue. We separate those out. So your favorite restaurant that is not barbecue.
Okay.
What do you got? If you got more than one, it's cool.
I do. I have
you will
such
be
a
rewarded
problem.
points. Yes.
The one that I'm super into at the moment is Krokstrom Club, which is like the Scandinavian restaurant at
why do I not know where that is?
36th and Broadway-ish.
Okay.
It's right across from Uptown Theater and that kind of thing.
Okay.
But it's a lot of like pickled fish. And it's so good. I love it so much. And like aquavit.
Oh.
It's delicious.
What's it called?
Krokstrom.
Krokstrom.
Krokstrom. It is very hard to spell.
Krokstrom?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's Krokstrom, but
I've never heard of this place. This is a pickled fish. I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, like pickled herring and like smoked oysters, and they have other things besides fish. But I always get this fish board. It's called Fisk board because that's Norwegian.
Yes.
But it has like pickled herring and smoked oysters. and like gravlax, which is kind of like smoked salmon with orange marmalade on it. It is so good.
Interesting.
And then for brunch, they have this dish called rogmunk.
It's a monkfish?
It's not fish.
Okay.
I'm giving you options besides fish.
Okay.
So it's like a potato pancake with pork belly on it and lingonberry jam.
That sounds really good.
Maybe goat cheese? I might be getting that confused. It is so good.
That sounds
They
really
also
good.
have, sorry, I'm just like going on because I love it and I want more points. They have this, it's called Swedish, like church basement.
Fish?
They have this thing called Swedish fish. It's amazing. No, it's like Swedish, it's called like church basement coffee.
Okay.
And it's a French press, but they put a raw egg into it. But the egg kind of like, I mean, it's not like a raw egg when you drink it, but it makes the coffee like super creamy.
Ooh.
And it's so good.
Very nice. This is, okay, I'm going to have to look this place up.
Okay.
All right. So now, second part of the question.
Yeah.
Your barbecue. You live in Kansas City. Do you have a barbecue opinion?
Yeah. I like them all. That's my problem.
Okay.
I love LC's. I think their burnt ends and their French fries are so good. I love Kansas City Joe's or Joe's Kansas City or whatever it's called now. I mean, it's just delicious.
Yeah.
I could eat barbecue at any of the places.
So okay. So you're like on an even level. You're like, you know what? They're all good to me. You don't have one that like stands out in your mind.
It really, it just depends on the day. Like I work near Arthur Bryant's, so I go to Arthur Bryant's every once in a while on my lunch.
Very nice.
Get a big old brisket sandwich and fries. Pickles.
That's,
I like them all. I love barbecue.
Very nice. I'm going to give you 5 points.
Thank you.
Well done.
Okay.
Here we go. Here's your next one. Your favorite place to go see a show. Do you have a favorite venue or a favorite place, you're going to go see a show? That could be concert, play, I don't care. Yeah. You got a favorite venue?
I love the plays at the Living Room Theater at 1818 McGee. I think they do really great work there. I'm going to say the Living Room.
The Living Room. Okay, here we go. Here is your next question. What's the best salad dressing?
Oh, man. Okay. My favorite salad dressing in town. Is that what we're talking about?
No, in general. Like, what's the best salad? But in town, sure.
Okay.
You could go however you want with these. There's no.
Okay. The Mix has this amazing salad dressing. It's like champagne honey or something like that. It's the one that goes on the Garden of Eden salad. And it is amazing.
Champagne honey.
I guess so. I don't know what they call it, but I think that's what they call it.
Okay, here's your next question. What are the things that are on top of Bartle Hall?
Well, it's hard. It's hard for me to know because I imagine them as like Hamburger Mary's like comb that she uses because I see her using that. So every time I see it, I think like, oh, they're for doing Hamburger Mary's hair.
Very nice. I'm going to give you 2 points for that question. That was good.
Oh. Is that good?
That's good, yeah. Okay. Your favorite local hangout? You got a favorite local hangout? Just want to go party with friends?
Oh, the Piano Room.
Okay. Very nice.
I like that because they have very old people singing like standards. And I just think it's the best.
Let's see here. Was Mary Poppins a good nanny?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
Why wouldn't she be?
There's a lot of people online that say Mary Poppins was like not a good nanny, that she was really kind of rude.
Reckless or rude?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you agree with this?
It's a
hot
guess
topic
I haven't,
online.
Is it?
Yeah.
I haven't watched Mary Poppins with like an adult critical eye to her nannying. I guess is the answer. I'm sure if I watched and I wanted to like flame Mary Poppins, I could find ways to flame Mary Poppins, but I just have such love in my heart. And yeah.
Okay. That's fine. I'm going to give you 1 point for that.
Oh, well, fuck you.
I'm going to give you 1 point for that as well.
Okay.
Favorite?
Oh, yeah, I got an extra point
yeah,
for
that's
saying
right.
fuck you,
Yeah, that's right. Your favorite local event? Do you have a favorite local event There's lots of stuff going on. There's always something going on, it feels like.
Oh, man. Can you give me some examples just to get my brain flowing?
Yeah, so you got Boulevardia, you've got the Plaza Art Fair, you've got the wow, now my brain.
This is a tough question.
Well, I know it. Well, because I always think of the stuff that I go to. Like I always like going to.
I know what it is.
Oh, okay.
The Ethnic Enrichment Festival.
There we go. Okay.
I love it because I love eating everything.
Yes.
I love to eat. Yes, ethnic enrichment. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, okay. Out there by the zoo.
Yep.
Yes. Speaking of the zoo, what's your favorite animal at the zoo?
Oh, the orangutan who paints.
Ah, yes.
I don't know her name, but she's lovely.
Would you rather go to the zoo or Worlds of Fun?
You know what? I'm going to say the zoo.
Okay.
Because I used to love going to Worlds of Fun so much because I liked riding the rides. But now I think I'm old and they make me sick.
Okay. Yeah.
I get really sick.
Oh, see, that's weird. No. That's not weird. I'm sorry. When you get older... Okay.
I think I just gave you the saddest look.
No. I was way wrong. Okay. See, because... riding rides, when you get older, your inner ear, your equilibrium becomes more intense, right? Because over time, your sense of balance becomes more, what's the word I'm looking for?
Grounded?
In tune. Okay. So when you're on those rides and you're going side to side or you're going upside down, your inner ear has more of a reaction than it is when you were a little kid. Because when you're a little kid, you don't have that main sense of equilibrium. So no, that is a common thing that you get older and then you're I can only take so many rides.
It just made me really sad because my favorite ride when I was a kid, is it the Zulu, the one that
the Zulu spins yes, it spins and goes up. Yes.
That was my favorite ride. I freaking love the Zulu. And I went on it as an adult a couple years ago and I was like,
oh, you were too much.
I really thought I was going to hurl. And it made me so sad because I love the Zulu. I like the Mamba. To me, the Mamba's new, but I know it's not new anymore. I know.
It's 20 years old.
I know, but it's that was the hip new one when I was probably 18, I guess.
How do you feel about the streetcar?
I feel good about it. I'm glad that it's there, and I hope that they expand it.
You do?
Yeah, I do, because I want people to have non-drinky or drinky, I guess, options for traveling and getting to visit the nightlife. I've only ridden it a couple times.
Yeah.
But I think that's something we need to develop in Kansas City is our public transportation.
Very nice. Speaking of transportation, man, my segues are on.
They're so good.
I found this out the other day. The Kansas City metropolitan area has more freeway lane miles per capita than any other large metropolitan area in the United States.
Holy cow.
So what is your least favorite road to travel in Kansas City? Do you have a least favorite road or your favorite road to travel?
My favorite road? Does it have to be a freeway?
No, it could be. I'm just thinking roads in general.
Yeah, no, my favorite road is the Paseo. I love driving up and down the Paseo, and I try to use that whenever I can because I just think it's from that stretch from Volker to 63rd. I just love it. Very
nice. Fuck, marry, kill. Paul Rudd, Jason Sudeikis, Eric Stone Street.
Fuck Paul Rudd.
Okay, that makes sense.
Marry Jason Sudeikis. And I'm going to kill Eric Stone Street, even though I don't have a problem with him.
That's fine. I'm going to give you 5 points for that.
Okay.
Well done. Now it's your chance. You can ask me a question.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. What is... I should have prepared for this.
No, that's fine. It's fun to keep people... the Casey quiz is all about keeping you on your toes.
Okay. What is your favorite... This is so terrible. What is your favorite smell in Kansas City?
My favorite...
Like local smell.
Oh, wow. That's a really good question. Can I add that to the quiz for future quizzes?
Yeah.
My favorite smell. Oh, man. That's... You know what? I'm going to be a little weird on this one because I have two smells that come to mind. Okay. One is like more like a childhood smell, and the second one is like a smell that makes me really happy. Okay. So let's go with the smell that makes me really happy. When I walk into Joe's KC, into the gas station, and you get that first whiff of like, like warm air from that. Oh my God. From the oven and you smell it, like that whole barbecue smell hits your nose. Know. That is like one of like my absolute favorite smells because I'm just like, as I've been waiting outside for like 30 minutes to get inside, in the line, and then you walk in through the door and you get that that like whiff of air.
You've arrived.
Okay, my second smell. That this one, just like when I smell it, I have weird flashbacks. And you'll understand this as soon as I say it.
Okay.
The smell of the Fury of the Nile at Worlds of Fun.
Oh, I do get that.
So, like, when you get on the ride and you smell that water that's just been going around
just, like,
the flume.
Chlorinated,
yes. And having worked there for so many years, like, my whole brain, like, when I go to Worlds of Fun and I first get that hint of smell, it usually happens around the Viking Voyager, and then it gets a little bit smellier towards the Fury of the Nile. When that hits my nose, I'm just like, I know this smells like crap, but it's bringing back lots of childhood memories.
I feel that way. And it's weird because I'm not a sweets person at all, but the funnel cake smell at Worlds of Fun is just so intoxicating.
It's pretty good.
But I don't like eating funnel cake. I feel like, we're at Worlds of Fun and it's home.
Let's see here. What is your favorite KC fountain?
Well, I like the J.C. Nichols fountain, but I wish that they would rename it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That makes sense. I can see that. Let's see here. Pop or soda? This is more a regional question.
Soda.
Soda?
Yeah. Whenever anyone says pop, I'm always sort of like, what? Huh?
2 points. Here we go. Can I have $5?
Do you Venmo?
No, I don't.
Okay, then no.
Okay. Let's see here. Here is, it's time for the Google challenge. Okay. And the Google challenge, you actually have an option today on the Google challenge, which is very rare because usually I only do one. Okay. So here's what's happened. I went to the Google machine and I typed in a word and or phrase and I let Google do the autofill. Okay. So you need to guess the autofill. Okay. Now for you, because I was going to say like improv comedy is blank, but there's no like good Google autofill for improv. Okay, so instead you get your choice.
Yeah.
I typed in, let's just do them both.
Okay.
So I typed in ham is, and I typed in kitty is. So let's start with ham. So I typed in ham is, what did the Google challenge? What was the autocomplete?
Salty.
Okay.
I'm going to guess that's wrong.
It was actually ham is better than turkey. And the second one is...
That is a tough...
Ham is pork.
Ham is pork.
Yes.
Turkey and ham are a toss-up for me because I think they both taste pretty bad, honestly.
Yeah. I'm a ham guy for the most part. I don't like turkey has to be cooked a certain way for me to like really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like cold turkey from like, I'm used to like Thanksgivings with really cold turkey because never mind, it's a family thing. I don't get it. But like that cold turkey, I'm not a fan of.
I just think turkey tastes like corrugated cardboard.
You get 5 points. Okay, here's your next one. Kitty is blank.
Kitty is cute? I don't know.
This one is weird to me. The first one...
It seems like it might reference like a name or something instead of...
You're on the right track.
Yeah, instead of like an actual cat.
Okay.
But so I'm trying to think of a famous kitty.
You almost like said it now. You almost said it.
Kitty is a name?
No, Kitty is not a cat.
Kitty is not a cat?
Kitty is not a cat. You were on the right track.
Do I get like a point for that?
Yes, you do. And this one doesn't make any sense to me. This is the very last one. It says, Kitty is a very bad mystic.
Oh, see, that's what I was thinking. Like it was going to be like Kitty, talking about a specific person. Kitty is... and a describer for somebody's specific name.
But Kitty is not a cat. So well done. Very good job.
You.
That was you did very well. Let me I'm gonna add up all your points. Okay.
Right.
So give me just a second here.
Thank you for bringing your own abacus.
It's hard to like set it up, but it makes sense to bring it with me.
Yeah. Do you like my abacus noise?
Yeah, that was really good. I'm gonna take that little chunk of audio and save it for future sound effects. Let's see here. You have 44 points.
Shoot! Out of what?
Out of 50.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like a high B+, A-.
Right.
Very nice.
Good.
Well done. Congratulations. Thank you so much for taking the Casey quiz.
Oh, yes. That was my pleasure. I'm so glad I came up with a question for you.
All right, folks, we are nearing the end of our time today here with Kate here on the Kansas City Podcast. Kate, this is now your time to shine, okay? This is your time. Tell people where they can find you, where Ham Kitty is performing next. This is all of your... I want the people to know where to find you. So it is your plugged round, ready, on your marks, get set, begin.
All right. So Ham Kitty can be found at hamkittykc.com. I'm going to fact check that real quick just to make sure that that's
These are
correct.
the things you have to know when you're doing plugs. You have to know the website.
I know. I wasn't fully prepared. No, we're hamkitty.com.
Oh,
we
nice.
got it. We got that URL.
Very nice.
Okay. So we're hamkitty.com, but on like the Twitter and the Facebook, we're hamkitty.kc for that. Yes, that's true. Our next performance is in the Underground Throwdown at the Kick Comedy Club, and that is on May 19th. Those are always the third Saturdays at 8 p.m. And it will be as long as we keep winning. So I don't know when that's going to end. It's weird because I have to hold it on my calendar every time. But anyway, this is too long-winded for this section, isn't it?
No, this is fine.
And then CaseyImprov.com is the Casey Improv Company, where I'm a company member. And we do shows there every Friday and Saturday night.
Very nice. Remember, folks, you can find me on Twitter at Cole Lindbergh. Make sure to check out our website, theKansasCityPodcast.com, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Kansas City Pod. All right. Do you have any words of wisdom to take us out on today? Any last minute thing you want to say to the people of the listeners of the Kansas City Podcast?
Yeah, this is sincere. You only have one life. And so if there's anything that you're just like, well, this is fine for now, just like stop thinking like that and just live your life.
Very nice. So we're going to end on that. Kate, thank you so much for being on the show. We will see everyone next time here on the Kansas City Podcast. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.